Okay. Thank you for greetings, first of all, from the beach, where I live in Wilmington. And I know your time is valuable. I know you don't clock out. You know, as anyone who deals with athletics, you're always on call, whether you officially are or not. So I want to be very respectful of your time, and that thank you, how valuable your time is, that I want to add value. My purpose is to add value to you. When I say you, that is you individually and you collectively, because you are a team, right? And we take ourselves everywhere we go. So my purpose is to help you dig. All right, that's little shovels you have. If you want to switch colors, but I'm going to ask you. I know it seems like you got these little plastic shovels, but visuals are always great reminders. Right? Visuals are always great reminders to help you remind your mind, which is so used to doing what it's familiar with, to interrupt it, to find things you need to. It's to dig and uncover and discover what's dormant within you, what you put on a shelf years ago for whatever reason. There's things in your life that you haven't even uncovered within you. Personal development precedes all other development in your life. A few weeks ago, talking to an insurance company's retreat, I can't tell them how to do insurance better, but I was helping them become a better them, so that as they take themselves into their field of business, that they can be sharper, more efficient, more effective. That is my purpose, is to help you uncover and discover what's in you. And at the end, things to implement, that you can implement into you. Because the thing is, the computer, the lighting, your car, your phone, jet airplanes, medical equipment, everything that we have at our disposal, things like our phone, that, God bless you, that help us, doesn't make our lives better, but it helps our living easier and better. Hey, we're glad that there's modern technology for surgeries and to get around with vehicles, all those things that we have. And every single element, piece that's on your phone, that's on all those things, has always been in the earth. It has always been there. It had to be dug. It had to be uncovered. It had to be discovered. It had to have taken the time to stop and say, what can I do with this to be more beneficial in that? And that's for each of us, because you are leadership. Success and failure hinges on leadership. Whether it's athletics, whether it's a corporation, whether it's a team. Rise and fall with leadership. And I want to assist you to navigate in some aspects in a short, brief time what you can implement into your own life that you'll take with you when you come here. And the challenge is we get set in our ways. Not only do we get set in our ways, but your mind is set on the familiar. All right? And what do we say? Well, this is the way we do it. It's working for us. It's working for me. Can't teach old dogs new tricks. There's a lot of things that we won't do because we don't have to. But there's some things that we have to remind ourselves that we were built for that. You were wired to do hard things. Think about this. You have done hard things your whole life that you don't want to. I mean, when you were a kid, when you were an infant, you pushed off the ground. You did a hard thing. You learned how to flip over. It was a hard thing. I mean, I think about my kids. They're all grown now for the most part. And seeing them struggle, push up, and then crawling, right? And learn how to walk and falling and learn how to, get up, trying it again. Mathematics table, right? The math table that we had to do, multiplication table, I should say, when we were in grammar school. And then we had I remember for me, a couple years before I got my driver's license, seeing my older brother and sister, I'm like, will they put gas on one side? Will they write it down for me? Gas and brakes so I don't get the, like, I was nervous, I was scared. It was a hard thing. We had to learn how to drive. There's things in our life that we had to learn. We had to do hard things. And the deception is, as we get into a career and get going, we kind of just glide. Because that's where our mind goes to. What we're familiar with, what's the easiest route, and it might be good, but it's not the better. It's not necessarily the best. So it is allowing yourself for this period of time that I'm here with you. Did I do it? Oh, so Alec's not here, and that's not working. Oh, there it is. All right. Is to be coachable. Now, both of these pictures, that's Jordan, right? Here he's with Dean Smith, right? And here he's with Phil Jackson. If you look at both these pictures, his eyes. You know, one of the things that when I work, because being athletic like you my whole life, working with kids is you hear with your ears, but you listen with your eyes, right? You give attention to your eyes. And it's psychologically proven that you retain more data, more accurate when you give your eyes. Plus, as you know, working with athletes, they're showing you respect. They're learning respect. You hear with your ears, you listen with your eyes. And here's the thing about Michael Jordan. I don't know exactly when this picture was taken, right? But he was the best player in the world at the time. And he's still being coached. Why does Tiger Woods need a coach after when he was in his prime? All these other great because you need a coach. You need someone to help you, to challenge you. We need people in our lives to challenge us, to get out of the norm we have or just set ways. We always need to be growing. And as a leadership, your athletes depend on it. Your athletes depend on leadership. Not like a cowboy that pushes the herd, but like a shepherd that guides because they trust and see in you the excellence that's in you. We're going to talk about mind, body, and spirit. They're interdependent on one another. As you sharpen one, it sharpens the other. You each are interdependent of one another. Now, I use this way. I'm working with a few high school football teams right now, and I'll say to them, the team will be around, I say, what's the most important position on the field? Right? And a lot of them will say, the quarterback. He touches the ball, the center, the quarterback touches the ball every time. Of course, the lineman, we're in the trenches, and we control the line of scrimmage, and then everyone else, talks about. And I said, the answer is you. Whatever position you're playing, that is the most important because your team depends on you. Look, the second string kicker, first kick, if the kicker gets hurt, and it happens, mid-games, groin, calf, something, and they got to kick the winning field goal to win the game, it's important, right? It's important that when you walk in here, that you know that you, and I say you, I'm like you, each and every one of you, your position is the most important position. Because everyone else, just like there's 10 in the football huddle, depend on that one person do his job, so does everyone here. And it's having that mindset. I want to just share with you things this next time that we have together, to have that mindset, having a paradigm. So we have a paradigm. A paradigm is accepted beliefs. And we have accepted beliefs of who we are, what we can do, how we can do it. We have accepted beliefs of how we react or respond to certain people. We have, whether we're conscientious or not, how our mannerism, our posture, our attitude will be in circumstances, situations that we deal with, athletes that we deal with, coaches we deal with. We have a certain way, and a lot of times we're not even aware of it. We're not even aware how we are. It's just the way we are. We have a paradigm. I want to help you shift your paradigm so you can see truly the excellence that you are, and that as a leader. You are a leader if you're in the front office, back office, side office, on the field, off the field. You are a leader, and to have a mindset to realize, not only the mindset, the confidence to walk in that, because everyone you work with and all those athletes, whether they are aware or not, they need your excellence. They need you to be excellent. Personal development precedes all other development in life. and you take you wherever you go. It's not just here. It's not just with teams or coaches and everyone here. It's at home. It's social settings. Wherever you are, you take you with you. I want to help you to uncover and discover all that's in you. So the next slide is a choice. That we have a choice. All right, you can read it right here. There's a gift, there's a skill, and there's a choice. All right. Understand we have the capacity. That's a gift God has given us, the ability to grow, to strive, to persevere, to have the resilience, the resolve that each and every one of us has to grow, to stretch, to do hard things, to get uncomfortable. It's a choice that we make. Right? So I was in, well, let me start with this first. I'm going to say this word. You might have seen this before. I'm going to say a word. I'm going to write it down, and I hope you can write it down yourself. I'm going to say. Actually, I'll just say this. I'll say it. Realize. What I say. It's not a trick. Realize. How do we spell that? I heard someone just kind of trail off. All right. I-Z-E, right? Realize. Realize. Okay. Could it be anything else that I said? How about this? Could it have been this? Realize. Could it have been this? Realize. This is kind of a visual of what I want to communicate clearly as I talk to you, is realizing that in our own self, we have real lies. We have facts that are not truths in us. For instance, facts can be true, but they're not always true. 95% of the time that man and women have been on the earth, mankind has been on this planet, 95%, the overwhelmingly time that we've been on planet Earth, it was a fact the earth was flat. You could get punished those centuries for saying earth was round. But when it became overwhelmingly obvious that earth was round, that's not when it became true. That it didn't all of a sudden become true. It has always been true. There's a paradigm shift that the real eyes saw truth. There's facts in you that you have carried with you, you've done, has limited you, has restricted you, has had you choose certain ways because they've been facts to you. And what I want to help you, not just here, but for you to go forward with small disciplines that we're going to talk about, that you have realized who you are, the excellence that you are, that God created you as a masterpiece. And he's instilled in you gifts and abilities and the stick-to-itiveness to do hard things, to learn more about who you are and the capability that you have. And I say all this from my own experience. I say all this from those that I've worked with, teams and organizations. I do one-on-one training. When we allow ourselves to choose, to make the choice that I am going to be a student of myself. That's what you have to say to yourself. I want to learn. And it doesn't matter how young you are. I mean, in the Bible, there's so many people that are young. That God said, no, I've gifted you. I'm going to lead you. It doesn't matter how old you are. 25 years ago, I guess, maybe more. I was working as a trainer in a gym in Raleigh. And the guy that owned the gym said, listen, I spoke to this woman, her name's Dorothy, and I convinced her to come work out. I want you to help her. I'm like, all right. So the night comes, and I'm like on the counter, and he sees her, I guess. Yeah, here she is. And he opens the door, and he's holding the door open. He's kind of like talking to her, and I'm just kind of waiting for her to walk in. And you're kind of one of those, are you coming? Just leaning forward, fall, and finally, here comes Dorothy, 91 years old, with a walker. Her posture, her demeanor, her countenance, she did not want to be there. But this guy, Bill, he must have drove her crazy that she said, all right, I'll go, or something. And she walked in with that walker. And I stood there, and I looked at Bill, and I looked at her, I looked at Bill, and he's just like, I'm like, all right. So she walked over. We didn't even put weights in her hands. I was just trying to get her the actual motions of press and pull. Put her on the, can't think of the bike with the fan. It's been a long time. She did like 8 seconds. And she was done. I'm like, okay, we tried. And she left. But daggone, the next night, here she comes with that walker. Maybe 12, 13 seconds on the bike. Put some 2.5 pound dumbbells. She did a couple curls, a little shoulder press, maybe 1 or 2 reps. She left. Came back. She kept increasing. One night, the guy opens the door, and here she is with a cane, and she walks. And now her countenance, her posture looks different. It looks more confident. It looks more alive. She looks more alive. And she has a cane. Walker's gone. She has a cane. And we're starting doing leg curls, leg extensions. She's doing more weights, bikes. And this is weeks, a couple weeks. And then one day, the door just flies open. Here she comes. She goes like this to me. I got it. She gets on her bike. She does all her things. She starts to converse with a lot of people in the gym, because before she just kept there. Her smile, she's talking about, hey, I'm swimming again. I got back into a Bible study. My neighbors helped me. I'm working in the yard with them. She took to realize, because she made a choice to try, to push herself through, that she had realized who she really was, that she wasn't limited, she wasn't restricted because of her age, of how she was, that she can, just like us, no matter how long we've been a certain way, that we can grow. And here's what happens. When you have real eyes, it opens you, it enriches you, empowers you. And you desire, because it's not only what it does for you, it's what your conversations and interactions, you see how it changes. You see how people see you and how much you are able to lead them. It's a choice to realize that there are real lies that come to the grips. There's things in you that you will dig out if you allow. You will uncover if you allow. And you'll discover that which is in you that will empower you to live excellent. So the next thing is the challenge of that. There's a few challenges. And I've been on staff with FCA since 2006. And about 10 years, about 2016, 2017, it got mandated, required, regardless of how long you've been on staff, so your position on staff, you were required to go what's called communication school. Someone's going to help you communicate more clearly, more efficiently, effectively. It was required. Now, here's one of the realize for me that I didn't realize. And this is a deception that we have. Not you specifically to this necessarily, but deception that I really don't need it. I really don't have the time. We get suggested and recommended things all the time. I mean, think about it. How many times someone said, well, you should try this? Like, yeah, I should try it. Yeah, you're right. You look into this. Yeah, maybe I will. And what happens? We're creatures of habit that our mind is set on doing only what we know, what we want to, what we're familiar with. But what if you're required? See, if I was recommended or it was made a strongly suggested, hey, I think you should go to communication school, I'm like, all right, well, and they like go on what's called Team to FC. There's different places they're having it, different dates. I'm like, well, there's some of my staff I know that need it. I don't. Why? Because I was deceived thinking, hey, I speak already. I go to a place outside of FCA, like I am here today. I speak, I get referrals, I get asked to come back, so I must be doing okay. I must be doing all right. No one's ever said, not that they haven't thought it, but never said, man, that was horrible. You know, I mean, could you do better? I was deceived in thinking that I didn't need it. But it was required. So how to go? So again, this is talking about get out of my comfort zone, getting out of what I'm doing, and I have to go find where to go, find dates, cut out my schedule. So it was drive to Charlotte, which is about 3.5 hours from me, 2 full days. So you go there the night before and get there early. It's all day, 2 days. And of course, my attitude going in is like, let's just get this over with. Anybody been there with anything? Let's just get this over with. Don't raise your hand if you're sitting here right now going with this. Let's just get this over with. Just get it out yourself right now. And the guy that led it, I'm good friends with now, Alan Hoffler. He works not just with FCA around the country, but with a lot of PR companies and different industries. And he has a tripod set up with his camera, with his video, and he has a flash drive. And there's about 10 or 12 of us, like small groups. And the very first thing that we do is you get up and he says, look, 2-3 minutes, just who you are, some things about yourself, such and such, right? And he puts it in because he's going to video it because it always tells the truth. Sometimes if we can just see ourselves, right? So, Matt Truppel, I'm get done, I feel I do well. Because I've done this before. I've had a lot of practice. That's what I'm thinking. Everyone goes, and then he puts it in, and we watch. And he tears you up and down. Not in a bad way, but what are you doing here? Why are you looking at the floor? What's with all the filler words? Did that make sense, what you just said? There's all these different things. And I'm watching, like, when he's pointing these things out, I'm like, oh, gosh. I mean, but he's the professional, so he points these out. And just start talking about psychological terms, how audience takes in things and visuals. And then we started working on. We had all these different exercises all day that day, all day the next day. And you would do these certain exercises, and it's all on here. And the end, it was all day the next day as well. It's towards the evening, and we were finished. And he says, this is what we're going to do. This is how you're going to finish. You're going to go up there again. I mean, it's probably not going to be verbatim, but basically speak and say what you said yesterday morning, which at that time felt like a long time ago, but it wasn't even 48 hours. Puts it in. You video it. He videos it. Pretty much the same thing. He goes, this is what I want you to do. You're going to take these home, and I'm really going to, can't require it, but I'm really going to suggest you watch it right away. Watch yesterday and watch tonight immediately, and then all the exercises that you need to practice. You got to choose to practice them. It was like night and day. I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't realize I had so much room for improvement to be sharper, to be more clear, more concise, to communicate in a way that everything I was saying could be received clearly. It was night and day. But here was the challenge. Right? We've heard this a whole lot. I know practice makes perfect. Practice does not make perfect. If you're practicing a bad foul shot with bad form and it's not hitting, you're not going to get better, right? Basketball, anyone here? Anything you do, any type of mechanics that you're trying as an athlete, anything you do, and as an individual, I wasn't going to get better because I kept practicing. It's what I was practicing would help me get better. Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. The question is, what are you permanently practicing? Because the challenge I had and the challenge we have is we're in a concentrated area. Just like we're here, this concentrated area right now. You're here. This is the focal. I'm sure just like me at places, I go to seminars, things, my phone, different things. But this is where you're at. And so that's where we were. But I was going home just like you go outside here and life just comes at you, right? There's so many things you have to do. There's so many things that you are required to do, right? For your job. There's so many things maybe for a spouse at home that you should definitely do. Your mind always wants to go back what it's familiar with. So the challenge is teach yourself to carve out space. You don't have time. We don't have time. We make time with that which we think is important. We have to make an advanced decision. We have to make an advanced decision to be intentional in what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. And what happens is, and this is a cheap promo for me. This is covering one of my books, but the silhouette is, to me, is a very strong statement. One person helping another. And this is what I would say to each of us. We are both of them. I believe the requirement for each of us is that we continue to grow in the excellence that we are, because other people need not only to see it, but they need for us to be someone that can help them as well. I mean, every day, so it's having a paradigm shift every day that you listen and you speak. You receive and you give. You get taught and you teach. We are both of them. We have to see ourselves. We cannot say that, well, no one's telling me, and this is the position I am. Every one of you is a leader where you are. And that's a mindset to have, because you are as important as everyone else for the totality of this team, call you a team, to work. Right? So when I would ask you, not what's your job, what is your leadership position here?
I'm a graduate assistant.
Okay, you're GA. All right, that's important, because you're needed, all those things that you do, to help that who you work for to stay focused on what he needs to do, correct? You're important. You're very important, right? You know how we know people are important that we don't even think of sometimes, not them think, but no, is when, like, the guardsmen go on strike. And all of a sudden your garbage is piling up outside your house, right? Oh, they're important, right? We don't see, everyone's job is important for the totality of everyone to function and to function well. To see yourself in that. You first have to see yourself in that, okay? You are a leadership position, just like everyone else. You have to see yourself. You are a leader. Because you have to first lead yourself. You lead self before you can lead others. And that this whole workshop, this whole talk, is to help you understand, to lead others, you have to first and foremost lead yourself. You can't stay stagnant. You can't just say this is the way we do it. All right? Because you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're doing your team a disservice, and all those coaching athletes who depend on you. Lead self. It's a mindset to have. So yes, we are both. And the scripture here, Proverbs 27:17, is iron sharpens iron, so shall a man sharpen the countenance of his friend. Or a better translation is iron sharpens iron, so shall one person sharpen another. But at the same time, we easily dull each other, because our culture that we live in, mediocrity, is celebrated. The bar is brought low because we rationalize and justify and compromise the reasons and excuses that we have to not really strive for excellence. Because there's always well, we can't be here because we don't have this, this, and that. I'm telling you, when you learn to do all you can where you are with what you've been given, individually and collectively, you will strive in excellence. And I'll tell you, it will be seen. It will be noticed. You know, one of the guys that I've worked with FCA years ago, he's now, I think since he was at Virginia Tech after that, and he's been John Harbaugh's chaplain and character coach for the Baltimore Ravens probably 10, 12 years. We were working a football camp, like the one we have here. It was at Gardner Webb at the time. And we were rooming together, and he was telling me the story. He said, Matt, he was in the NFL for a few years. He said, man, I was with the Atlanta Falcons. And man, we were good. We are good teammates to each other. We worked hard, our coaches. We did all this things together. They just couldn't get to the playoffs. It was 2 years in a row. They're like 8-8, 9-7. And he said, man, we were doing everything we could. And the next offseason, he signed with the San Francisco 49ers, who at the time were the Super Bowl champions. This is the late 90s. 90s. Steve Young, I guess, after Joe Montana. And he said, I will tell you, when I walked into that team facility, as soon as I walked in that building, you could tell there was a difference. He said, the support workers that were there, everyone you came in contact with, he said, it was palpable. They all exuded this excellence, this confidence. So I get in the locker room with the players, and get on the field, he said, then I could see a difference. I could see a difference in San Francisco than Atlanta. He said, it was another level. It was the camaraderie, it was the expectation, the practice were crisp, all these things were different. And it wasn't that Atlanta was bad. It wasn't like I spoke bad, going back to me speaking before. He said, it wasn't seen because you can't see something that you haven't been exposed to. He said, I had no alternative to get myself at a higher place and how I conducted myself. And again, not that it was conducted bad, not that I operated, it was operating with a different mindset. The hustle, the crispness, the communication, the working together. Here's another thing, and I remember, and this is a long time ago. Actually, I might write something in this book about it. But he said, the players, no one looked down on anybody, but they pointed you up. This is how we do it, without speaking a word. It was how they conducted themselves. And I always go back to your posture, your demeanor, your countenance will tell people a lot. And I say that because also when at communication school, I didn't realize, because I wasn't aware of it, that my posture, my demeanor, my expressions didn't match up with what I was saying, didn't match up with the excellence that I thought I was portraying. The confidence. And here's the thing, he said, being in San Francisco, my confidence got bolstered because the expectation got raised. And with that, I was able to do and play and be a part of the team in a way that I wasn't aware of. What we are exposed our mind to, it will be attracted to. What we expose our mind to, will be attracted to. And so we're challenged. And I said this before about, when you wake up, your mind goes one place. What it's familiar with, what it needs to be done. How do I need to do it? What I need to take care of this day. And we just go. Right? And I use the illustration because I tell a story in book Live Intentional about, well, we'll get back there. I thought that was next. Let's leave it there. That we desire, we have intentions, right? I'm going to do that. I'm going to learn a second language. Right? I'm going to start working out. I'm going to do that. I mean, you name it. You think about it for yourself. What is it that you have told yourself, this is something I need to do. This is something I want to do. Think about that for yourself. So, the illustration here, and again, I thought I put another picture on it, which is fine, is that the story in the book is that I talk about a guy, and then I talk about a girl. And it's like a page or two. It's just short to introduce to get the story. Is that we say, this is the day. Today, after work, I have all this stuff in my shed. I said I was going to build this such and such thing. Man, I work for the man all day. Why don't I do something I like to do? It's a hobby to build stuff, woodwork. Today, I'm going to start. Today, I'm going to, instead of going on my phone, instead of watching the game first, I'm going to go home and I'm going to take the time. I'm going to start doing what I'm going to do. And a woman, she said the same things about certain things. I can't think of exactly what it is. But they both have an intention. This is what I'm going to do. Right? And it's kind of like walking against the current. Because the current, the flow is, again, as I said, your mind, psychologically proved, your mind wants to go to what it knows, and it wants to go to least resistance. Water goes around rocks. It doesn't go through a rock. And it's like we walking through that, I'm going against the current, and the sediment is shifty, and we could lose our balance, and before we know it, we just start flowing with the current, and we're not even aware of it. Because our mind is not going to be startled that we're doing the same thing we always do. Right? And by the end of the day, turn out the lights. Oh yeah, I was going to do that maybe tomorrow. And I think about when I pulled up here a little while ago, and I was like, gosh, it's been almost 100 days. I goal set things. I'm like 100 days. It just, looking at the fields, the football practice fields that we're on for 9-10 days in June. It seemed like it was yesterday. I was just here. Life goes. It'll take off. Either the day will take you or you have to take on the day, but it is understanding that you have to make an advanced decision. You have to be intentional to stop before you start. So they don't just flow. So habits are first deliberates. It is understanding that we have to implement in our lives certain things. Okay, we have to enable to grow and to manifest and to actualize the excellence that's in us. Habits are first deliberate. You have to deliberately do something over and over and over again. Right? And one of the biggest challenges with that for me is everything I just told you. But it's also getting yourself to believe that you can make change within you. Will it make change? I mean, think about one of the New Year's resolutions. Say 80% by January 21st, people will stop, right? Because you look at the result and what you want, and then you try to put in motion, and your mind rebels. Doesn't want. You have to be deliberate, and that is when you start your day. That I write it down. I'm going to be deliberate. The scripture I write down every day. There's different aspects. We're going to talk about identity and attributes in a little bit. But it's understanding that we are challenged to doing things. Oh, there it was. All right. To set a navigation for ourselves. I said this earlier. What you expose your mind to, it'll be attracted to. I mean, think about that. You get a new car. Color, make, model. You're exposed to it. It's your new car. You will start seeing it on the road, right? Has that been anyone's experience? Right? I mean, about 5 or 6 years ago, I had a car. I used to have trucks, and I'm a surfer, so I have a surf hack. My wife recommended, hey, why don't you get a truck again? It's easier for your surfboard. I'm like, yeah. She goes, how about a Nissan Frontier? And I know this might sound so ignorant, but I was like, Frontier? I know there's Tundra, Toyota Tundra. I'm thinking that's. She goes, no, Nissan Frontier. There's a guy we know that sells truck. He has one there. I'm like, okay, go there. I'm like, yeah, I bought it. It's like an off blue color, 4-door pickup. And my goodness, it wasn't a week where I'm like, I see him drive by. I'm like, really? I didn't pay attention. We don't pay attention to that. We're exposed. So being exposed to it. What you expose your mind to, it'll be attracted to. It's learning how to do that. I'm going to say that a couple more times. So here's our challenge. As I call it, distractions, deception, and dumb down. I said earlier, rationalize, justify, and compromise. The fourth day that's not up there that I want to talk about is discouragement. You think about when you were little. I know for me, I was going to be a baseball player. or professional athlete, some that's all, played sports like probably a lot of my whole life, 3 seasons including, and then on top of that, what I did in the summer, surfing, and I've been on swim team. And that doesn't manifest itself. No one says I'm going to be a mid manager and get laid off, right? There's no one thinking less. You're thinking you're going to excel. You don't put a limit on yourself when you're a kid, right? But here's the problem with that. By the time you're 18, 20,000 times, no, can't, don't. Those 3 words, 20,000 times each. By the time you're 18, you're told no, can't, don't. Now, a lot of times it's very important that you're told no, can't, don't, right? For your own safety, for someone else's safety, for your own well-being. But your mind, by the time you become an adult, is taught to be restricted, to be limited. Negativity is pervasive. It's the easiest discussion on anything is negativity. And if you're not aware of it, you easily slip into it. Years ago, I remember being at the bank. It's Friday. Guy went check. Cash the bank teller. She said, "Do you want to put it all in the bank? You want some cash?" He goes, "Well, there ain't much left since Uncle Sam took it all." And then everyone just chirps in. People who are total strangers, not looking at each other, just waiting for the next person in line. "Oh gosh, yeah, this and this. I know. It's easy. The weather, man, it's raining. Daggone it, it's hot. But we're teaching our mind to continue to be negative. Negativity does not grow excellence. It hinders it. It's understanding this. It's also understanding that one of the deceptions we have is from those who are marketing their products and services to get you to buy them and take them. What the businesses, the corporations are telling you is that everything you need to be successful, to feel good about yourself, to be pleased, to be approved, it's out there. You need to get it. We're going to talk about what's in here is where it is. Every time, now here's the thing, they invest in you, they invest in how you think, they pay millions upon millions of dollars, psychologists and all those neuroscientists to figure out how you think, to get you every time you walk in some place, to get you to maximize purchasing that you need it. Every time you walk into Walmart, Target, any big box store like that, depending on the season of the year, the day of the week, the time of day, the lighting, the temperature, the volume of the music, the type of music is strategically set. The placards that you see when you walk in, it's not coincidence. It's not, oh, look at that. It is strategic. They have figured out, because they have taken the time to invest in how you think and how you will react and how you respond and the actions that you will take. That's why Super Bowl commercials are $7-8 million for every 30 seconds. We know that a Coors Light bullet train doesn't turn snow into a bar. M&Ms don't run down roads and stuff. The Clydesdale, that's cool. Those are some cool commercials. But the reason they do it is one reason only. It works. It is learned to counter. It's learning you to take time, to set time, to stop before you go, to invest in you, to think about how you think, to have deliberates that will turn to habits. Every one of us knows you don't go in the weight room the first time ever, and the next day you're cut, you're strong, you're sore, right? That's it. You only get soreness the next day. And then you go back the next day. And then that muscle tissue that you're tearing down, it starts responding through eating protein, right? All those things, that's what get you stronger. It's the same thing. It is small disciplines exercised on a daily basis that will create excellence in you. But life happens, right? I was talking about the kid, top of the world, high school, college graduations. They're talking about take on the world, you can do whatever you want. And then, like Mike Tyson says, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Life punches you in the mouth, doesn't it? Setbacks, disappointments, things you never saw coming. Might lose a job, might lose someone in your life. Doctor says words we don't want to hear, whether it's us or some other people. Life happens, and we go from that kid, it says, that sign says, take on, well, I'm going to paraphrase, take on life as you would that 4-year-old with the Batman cape on, right? But daggone it, life does hit us in the mouth. And we get from wanting to strive and excel to we start measuring. How's this going to affect me, right? We start judging, all right, is this going to, I got this here now. I don't want anything else taken away. I'm done getting punched in the mouth. So having that negativity that's continually reinforced and having stuff in life, it's easy to deceive us, to rationalize, to justify, and compromise ourselves. Hey, man, I got my job here. I'm just going to keep to myself. Right? I got what I have. I don't want to ruffle feathers. I'm not going to speak up for myself. I'm not going to, hey, that's your problem. I know it's unfair. I'm not, that's what happens. We don't uncover and discover the excellence that's within us. So, it's understanding that. It's knowing that. This right here, anyone know Tim the Tool Man? All right. Does anyone watch that show? I no problem. All right. Who's that guy? Wilson. Why didn't they ever show his face? There's a reason, right? So, let me start. All right. So Tim. What was the name of the show? Home Improvement, yeah. Tim was the life of the party, right? Funny, always cracking up, this and that. His buddy Al was his sidekick. But here's the thing. He was in about 80% of the shows, Wilson. Wilson was a neighbor, never showed his face, wasn't important. When Tim needed, he needed some real advice. When he needed someone to tell him, maybe not what he wants to hear, but what he needs to hear. He didn't go to Al because Al was a yes man. Al wasn't going to do that, right? Al was at the barbecues, at the parties, wants to keep everything cool. Tim did not go to the people he hung out with. He went to his neighbor Wilson, who didn't care if he got invited to the barbecue. Therefore, he didn't care if he hurt Tim's feelings, telling him something he needed to hear. It doesn't matter what he looked like. And the separation shows he doesn't need to get in Tim's life. But Tim knew to go to Wilson for his help. Do you have a Wilson in your life? We all need a Wilson in our life. We need someone who gives us the good punch, who gives us the good wake-up call, the good shake-up. Every one of us needs a Wilson in our lives. We need someone to say, yeah, can we meet every 2 weeks? Can we meet every week? Hey, can I just text you, call anytime? And yes, absolutely. We need a Wilson in our life. We need someone that'll help us. We need a San Francisco 49er team in our life. Because once we get exposed to something that will help us, our mind will go from being attracted to the negativity and the limitations and restrictions and the ease of the before here, the dumbing down. That's the culture we live in, dumbing down. It's okay. Have excuses. Have reasons. I was sitting in the office at UNCW. This is probably 16, 17 years ago. Coach Scaff, baseball coach, got a phone call. And I'm sitting there, and he just told me to stay. And it was a parent. And he gets off the phone. He's like, what in the world is going on here? Parent is college athletes. Parent is calling, complaining. It wasn't about playing time. It was just something they were doing and help. I guess they had the UNCW, the baseball team. There's certain things you have to do. You have to be here at 8 o'clock in the morning. You have to do all the things as you would during season. Different teams, different expectations. But she kept giving. She was trying to. The mom was trying to justify why you should bring the bar down for Johnny. Johnny's homesick, Johnny's this, Johnny's that. When I was a kid, when whether it was a coach or the principal, your parent stood next to them and you were there and he said, you need to do what he says. You need to do what she says. He has the best interest out for you. And now you might have, I don't know if you've dealt with that, right? But it was a switch. But it doesn't have to be something we accept. We need to be held, we need to hold our athletes too, to an expectation that they will benefit from. We have to hold ourselves to an expectation. And having someone like Wilson will help us do that. We need Wilsons in our lives. Absolutely. Need Wilsons in our lives. All right, my watch broke, so I got to do this. I want to make sure. Then we need a break or anything? Stand up for a few minutes? We'll do some interaction stuff. Huh?
We're good.
Okay, all right. All right. So the question is how? All right. So let's see what the next slide I got here. Again, your mindset. Dr. Caroline Leaf is one of the leading neuroscientists in the world. Okay? And you see there, again, choice. I always circle, when I read books and have things, I always circle choice. I get to choose. I'm choosing. Right? Right here, our thinking. The most powerful thing in the universe. Do we use it properly? Think about that. This most powerful entity that you have, your brain. But your brain only does what your mind tells it to do. She also says, I don't think I have it on here, she also says, if you knew the power of your mind, you would never speak a negative word again. That's a powerful statement. But here's the good news. If you deliberately set disciplines into your life that become habits, you can rewire your brain tangibly so that you see yourself, your paradigm shifts, you see yourself differently in your interactions with people, in your circumstances, with your feelings and your emotions, not letting that dictate what your words are and what your actions are, but from a thermostat. I'm going to talk about setting your thermostat, because when you make habits become part of life, you start understanding being firm in who you are. Here's some more. From Scripture, the Bible, proverb, wisdom. Man thinks his head, so is he or she. This I said earlier, using all you can where you are with what you got. It's finding out what you have. Subtraction addition is, now some of us, you got some bad habits. We all have some bad habits in our life, whether it's eating or not working out or being on our phone all the time. And what I've come to find that's very efficient and effective is not trying to steer myself away from eating bad or watching TV. It's adding something else. It's adding something else. And in time, be subtracted out. I used to watch TV so much, different TV shows. I feel that what it was doing was the weariness and the heaviness of what I had to do the next day. You just escape watching TV shows. And this is a lot different than, now it's even crazier because Netflix, you can watch a whole series in a day or two. But I forced myself deliberately to start reading like a minute a day, 2 minutes a day. It was the Bible, and I'm trying to find a book that would challenge. But I read minimally, and then I go back and watch the shows. And what happened over time, when I made that choice, I made that advanced decision, I wrote it down every day, I'm going to do this. And I look at it every day. At the time, it was an index card. I'm going to do this. That my mind started going, index book, 7 o'clock at night, index book, because I was going to watch, let me read. And I would read. And I started reading more and more. What you expose your mind to, it will be attracted to. And I'll tell you this is certainly not to impress but to press upon you. Over time, I was reading the Bible more and more and more, and just the words started pulling off the page, and reading books of discipline and excellence. I wasn't aware of it, but other people saw me differently. They would tell me. I had people come to me and ask me all this stuff, and I'm telling them in mid-20s. I had guys at church that were were running multi-million-dollar businesses, asking me for wisdom, it caught me off guard. I didn't realize I was being transformed. My mindset changed. My words changed. What I avoided and ignored changed. I have this saying, avoid and ignore negativity. Do not add to someone's negativity, but interrupt it with something uplifting, encouraging, complimentary. Right? Avoid and ignore negativity. You have to make an advanced decision, because I said before, negativity is the easiest thing to talk about. You have all those words, no, can't, don't, negative words have been told in your life. Avoid, ignore it. Do not add to someone's, like at the bank, yeah, oh my gosh, I know, or it happens every Monday, and I tell people every Monday, someone's going to complain it's Monday, and it's going to be easy for you to step in, but have the mindset, avoid and ignore it, do not add to it, but interrupt it. Man, it's a great day to be alive. It's the first day of the rest of our lives. Add something that's complimentary. Add something that's positive. Add something that's encouraging. Someone said, man, it's Monday, I'm done. Hey, man, it's great to see you today. Add something that is life-giving. And your mind starts getting attracted to that. Not only because of the words you speak, but other people. Avoid and ignore negativity. Do not add to someone's negativity. Interrupt it. You learn to interrupt it when you continue to start feeding yourself. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to rate. Does anybody need this at all? Realize. All right. I'm going to ask you. Let me first ask. Your first step is your most important step. Now I'm going to explain that. I played football in college, and I had 5 years, a redshirt year, played receiver, worked hard to become a starter. Football was my least. I didn't start playing football until the end of high school. I mean, I played ice hockey, I surfed, soccer, baseball. And football probably wasn't my best sport either, but there I was playing football in college, and obviously I wasn't the tallest receiver. Shocker, anybody? Probably wasn't the fastest, but I worked hard by my third year to get some garbage time in, right? So my fourth year, it's a whole story between my third, and again, I had a Wilson. My roommate was one of those guys that was basically a starter the day he was recruited. He's my teammate, my roommate. There's a story there. He was my Wilson. He pushed me hard. And my deception was, well, these guys have the same amount of eligibility left or more. I'm not going to leapfrog them. That was mine. And he helped me to have a better mindset, do what I could with where I was to push me, so that mentally I went to camp my junior year with a mindset that, yes, I can. And I leapfrogged those guys. So I had a good junior year. We were good. Senior year, fifth year, summer comes, got a new position coach. I actually had 5 position coaches in 5 years. And here's this old guy. I say that because when you're 21, 22, anyone not in their 20s is old, right? So here comes this old guy, and he wants to change how we stand on the line of scrimmage. And I worked hard. You want to do what you're familiar with. You want to do the easiest. That's how, and I say that that's how your mind is. Let's do what's familiar, like the water against rock. Let's not try to go through rock. Let's not try. And you kind of just, this is a long time ago, but as a receiver, you're just kind of looking down the line of scrimmage. You got how you want it. And he wanted, he had us, it felt weird because he wanted a first step or for hands. And what he talked about was, I want you not to have to bring your hands up, but you have a hand already up so that you can fight off the opponent, fight off the defensive back. That person who's trying to keep you from having success. He didn't suggest it. He didn't recommend changing my stance. And all of us received. He required it. I'm like, come on. And there you are. I don't even remember how to write, but it was just, you sit there, first step, and you're sitting in line doing it all summer. And I think we had 2 days plus special teams at night, so you have 3 days. So it's a lot, and it's so cumbersome. It's so loathsome. You're working on this mechanic that's different to feel, well, it was required. And it worked. It worked when they have a cover press and the guy's there and he's releasing you, but he's trying to get you off the line of scrimmage. And here's the thing, two things. One, I'm like, who is this old guy? Well, he was doing our head coach a favor. He just retired as a receivers coach for Dan Marino's Clayton's Duper. I don't know if you know their Hall of Fame. He was there, and here I am, like, talk about being humbled, but talk about learning something that helped improve my game. Because the deception was, there's a way I do it. It's working. Why change it? We're having success. Well, we had a lot more success. Second is, talk about interdependence. The other 10 depended on me to do all I could with what I had, where I was, to get separation, to put myself in position that I could be an option, right? It doesn't matter how well in position part of practice where the quarterback gets all his steps right, has all those things, alignment, all the mechanics do great, if the receivers aren't doing their job, right? You're interdependent, all of us are interdependent on each other. We depend on each of us doing the things independently that will help us to be more excellent because we take us into the team. He would say that first step's the most important step. And he would say to us, 80% of the games are won or lost before we step on the field of play. 80%. He's like, 80% of teams are matched up pretty good. It's won or lost before you step on the field because the mindset that you are prepared with a purpose when you step on that field. Are you mentally focused and dialed in, prepared? Do you trust your teammates? Do you realize that every teammate is the most important person on the team? Do you treat them that way? Do you challenge them that way in being excellent? Or is it kind of, I heard Deion Sanders say this one time about, he said, there was guys in practice, you go soft, I go soft. How much time we left in this drill? Let's get to the next drill. Let's get practice over with. I've been there. He's like, every time I went to practice, my mindset was set when I walked on the field. It was to dominate. And if I have a mindset to dominate, it's going to make everyone on my team work that much harder, to be more of that dialed. That's what when we had football camp here, when I talked after every game, we talked to the teams, I said, you are sharpening each other. If you're going full speed, full out, if you're doing all the things you need to do as to the receiver, defensive back, what challenged you? What made you better today in June that's going to help you in September, Friday nights? Man, they ran their patterns crisp. All these things. I said, that's making you better. Iron sharpens iron, so shall one person sharpen another. Everyone's the most important person. You have to have that mindset. 80% of your days, here you go, I'm going to switch it. 80% of your days are won or lost before you do the first thing during the day. Because your first step, just like as a receiver, dictates the rest of the steps. If you wake up just negative and all this stuff, that's how it's going to flow. And you miss out on opportunities. You miss out on the opportunity to sharpen yourself, to affirm someone else, to help someone else, to encourage someone else, come alongside, being taught. As I said at the beginning, every day to be taught. Do you have that posture? Are you teachable? Showing Jordan with the Dean Smith and Phil. Do you even have a mindset that you can learn things that will help you grow? So your first step is your most important step when you wake up today. So here's what I think. I'm gonna tell you what I write and say, and then we're gonna put some words on the board, and I'm gonna ask you to do a couple exercises. So first of all, I look at every day as the most important day, and I say that because I was taught that years and years ago. Psalm 90 verse 12 says, "So teach me to number my days that I may grow a heart of wisdom." Right? That I may grow a heart of wisdom. So every day, well, I should say every day, because that's not true. Almost every day, I put what day of my life it is right here. Today is 20,090. 20,090. 20,090. I said 20,090. All right. Whose birthday is it? Does someone have a birthday? Kay? Yes. Me too. Today's my birthday.
Okay.
Happy birthday. All right. And I got people joking me, what is it? I say, well, I don't want to tell you how old I am. But it doesn't matter, 55. But it's actually, what's more important is that I'll always have, God willing, there'll always be another Monday. There'll always be another, kid try to do something next week. I try that. Yeah, I should do that. We'll always have a reason. We'll always rationalize and justify compromising and putting something off. But I only have one 20,090th day of my life. And that's my reminder. Am I doing all I can where I am with what I got today on this day? It's mindset. So the first step's the most important step. And I believe without a shadow that it is knowing who you are. Because when you know who you are, you won't drift easily at all in who you're not. And therefore, you can be most efficient and effective you in all that you do. So if I say that, I'll tell you. So this is what I say, and I want you to think about it. I want you to write down stuff for yourself. I'm going to put some of these on the board. So every day, this is what I have. I am a, and then I'm, and it's to, the why. Okay. This is what I say. I'm a servant, leader, teacher, encourager, listener, helper, student, sower into other people's lives. That's what I'm saying for me. I am a servant, leader, teacher, encourager, listener, helper, student, sower into other people's lives. Encourager. I said, servant, leader, teacher, encourager, listener, helper, student, sower. I write it down in my journal pretty much every day. I see it because those neuroscientists talk about when you see and you speak what you see, your mind gravitates towards it. So I say every day, what is my identity? As a servant, leader, teacher, encourager, listener, helper, sower, student. So I want you to think about it for a minute. Who are you? I am a what? Say right there. I always tell people when someone gives you notes, say, yeah, we should do this, or put I. Because you're right for you. It is for you. You are investing in you. I am. So anyone want to throw anything out there? Does that help what I said, mine, help you? What is your identity? Huh? Leader. Yes. You're all leaders, right? You got to tell yourself that. Anyone else? Husband, dad. Uh-huh. Anybody else? Provider. All right. Okay. Mentor. Excellent. All right. And if you don't want to say anything, please think and write down for yourself. Who are you? Because a lot of times people say, the question is, what do you do? Well, we tell our job. It's not who we are, though. It's what we do. It's so important to know who we are. Are you an encourager? Anyone an encourager? Let's put some out here. Encourager. Do any of you feel like you really like to help people out? All right, so you're a helper. In the Bible, there's 301 verses with attributes of God says you are. I'm going to tell you one of them. I'm going to put up here. And remember, it's regardless if you feel like it or not. It's regardless if you always do. To say I'm an encourager, I hope that as much as I can encourage, and that I'm not negative. Does it have? Yes. There's times when I'm not that, but overwhelmingly, it's kind of football after a game, we would get a card and you played how many plays and you get graded, and your grade, just like a test, it's just like any it doesn't have to be sports, be a test, right? You'll get some wrong, but if you overwhelmingly get them right, you get a good grade. It's the same thing. You don't have to feel. We don't go by feelings. We're teaching you go by truth. Remember, feelings can be facts. Well, I'm sad. I'm doing right now. I got a daughter. I got 3 daughters, but my youngest, she's a freshman at Mars Hill. She plays lacrosse. She's 6 hours away from home, and she had high expectations for, and she still does. I mean, they're practicing they're 6 o'clock in the morning right now. It's their fall season or spring season. It's the main season, and she'll always. I said, well, okay, I understand, and not to ever dismiss her feelings, but it's like that's a fact you feel. Let's talk about who you are though, because I feel like I'm not, but you are. I mean, they entrusted money into, and I'm glad as a parent, to give you scholarship to play. So they see that, it's easy to allow the negativity to creep in. That's why it's so important to speak truths, not facts. Facts change. Fact, earth was flat. Though it wasn't. It changed as a fact, but it never changed the truth, right? For yourself, up and down, you want to, so what, that's a thermometer, right? A thermometer has no control. It's up and down. It's hot. It's here. It's down here. I feel good. I feel bad. And then people can't really just count on you sometimes. So, man, they're all over the place sometimes. Learn to set a thermostat. Thermostat is harder. A thermostat has to work a lot harder. A thermometer doesn't have to work. It just goes with the flow, goes with the flavor, goes with the weather, right? Thermostat, it's got to be set and it works hard. But it keeps that temperature of excellence, right? So this is what I was talking about, and I said all that to say, whether you feel like it or not, you are a masterpiece. That's what God says you are. You're created as a masterpiece. I don't feel like a masterpiece. It doesn't matter for me. It's getting your mind on that. It's telling yourself, because what you expose your mind to, it will be attracted to. So, see, we have perception. Our perception is how we see ourselves and anything. We have a perception. That's our facts for us. But and our perception, kind of like me, I had a perception, I'm a good speaker, I don't need communication school. Perspective came from the guy leading it by showing, yes, you do, whether you feel like it or not. Well, on the flip side, I don't feel like a masterpiece. Well, God says, yes, you are the expert. You are a masterpiece. Right? Anything else I may think of? Comforter. Excellent. I have the lacrosse assistant coach. She's comforting my daughter in some ways, which is great. I'm so glad they're there to come alongside. A comforter comes alongside someone, right? Anybody a Wilson? Or a Tim? We got to be one or the other. Wilson? And actually, we should be both, just like I was showing on the mountain. But yes, and that can be a mentor, but it also can be like a coach. Actually, we're just going to put Wilson. I'm a Wilson. A Wilson is someone who doesn't let someone be less than who they can be by speaking truth into their lives. What else we got? And this here goes to that. The more you add to who you are, you'll subtract out who you're not. All right? All right. Next is, I'm. Okay. So I'll tell you what I say, and then I want attributes. Again, this doesn't always happen, but again, overall majority of the time, my mind leads me more to this than I was before. I'm humble, disciplined. I call it godly positive, not just being godly positive. I'm vibrant. I'm empowered. I'm a helper. So what says you? Humble, I'm disciplined, godly positive, I'm vibrant, I'm a helper, I'm kind. It's stuff that you want to step into. Kind wasn't always the first option when someone was not kind to me, right? But you set thermostat. A thermostat responds from who it is. A thermometer reacts. I mean, if you're, being an athlete, you have an opponent who tries to get you tries to get you off your game. Defensive backs who they got chippy, they get mouthy. What they're trying to get you off, they want you to react, because when you react, they're controlling you, right? Reacting, someone's controlling you. I spoke many times in this field this past June. These kids, he's controlling you, and the other 10 in the huddle are depending on you to be focused and dialed in. A thermometer reacts because it's all over the place. It does not have set thermostat. It doesn't have set, here's your identity, and here's your attributes. You set your thermostat daily. It has to be an intentional thing. This is who I am. I am and I'm. Anyone want to say? Anyone humble? Humble is not, I tell athletes, be humble, confident. Humility is that God has given you the capabilities, the abilities, the gifting, the resilience, the resolve. The confidence is it's adequate enough for you to do what God calls you to do. So anybody, do you have anything that you are? Anyone positive? All right? All right. But here's the thing. What do you want it to be? Because if I tell you all this in the Bible tells you that God has made you humble, let me tell you discipline. And I always say this, once you see what discipline does for you, you will not run from it, you will run to it. When you see what and we tell it to athletes, how about yourself? The discipline, whether maybe it's to eat better, maybe it's to work out, maybe it's to be positive and don't be drawn into negativity. I mean, there's a lot of different things for that discipline. And so one of my oldest daughter, and I remember this, she was in like first grade. She's, very energetic, as a lot of first graders are. She was off the walls, energetic. And teacher wrote a thing about, Ariana is, she does good, she does great in testing, whatever, all this stuff. She goes, she just needs to self-discipline to get self-control. And she's like, and we told Ariana, my wife, and she's like, it's hard, I don't have discipline. And I said, whoa, you don't feel like it, but the Bible says you have discipline. You just need to uncover and discover it. You have to speak it. There might be areas in your life that you're not disciplined. Tell your mind, I am disciplined. And this is not fruity, just say things and appear. But that's what the experts say, and that's what I found in my own life and people that I coach, is you keep exposing your mind to truth. The facts that are not truth will dissipate because you'll start walking in it. Are you empowered? Are you invigorated? Are you strong? You can be physically strong. Are you confident? Who are you? Who do you know? Because when you don't know and you don't speak, you don't take the time to invest in you, that it's within you. If you don't dig, if you don't give yourself the opportunity to set time aside to work on you, the world is going to work on you. It's going to dictate using your feelings, emotions, using strings. That's a psychological thing. All of your phone, billboards, TV, it's all there. It's a droid to think that you need what's out there and not even looking what's in here. So I'll write some more. Humble, disciplined, kind, strong, positive, loving, peaceful. Maybe you want very peaceful. Peaceful doesn't mean you get walked over. Right? Peaceful means you stand. Let me give you an example of something like that. Can I get 2 volunteers? You want to get up, stretch your leg? Two volunteers. This is going to be quick. All right. Thank you, guys. Come on up. All right. What's your name? Tim. Matt, nice to meet you, Tim.
Pleasure.
Mark. All right. Tim, Mark. All right. What is your name?
Quincy.
Quincy. All right. Tim and Mark, you have a disagreement about Quincy. right? About something, the athlete or something, and you're mad. You're both see it a different way. Let's just. I want you to animate how you would be angry and confronting each other about him. How would you do it? How would you be?
That's not right.
How's your hand? You're gonna have your hands. Well, how do you be mad? Be angry. Let's go.
You can't be saying that. Like, that's not okay. Don't tell me what I
Oh, get in his face. Get in his face. Get in his face. He's.
I'm going to keep this in check. I understand that. But you can't be saying that kind of stuff. It's not okay.
Sure I can. You can't be saying what you're wanting to say about him either.
But I'm keeping it quiet on down low. You're out there saying to everybody.
Oh, this is good. That's awesome. All right. So here's the thing. Teacher, that's great improvising there. The focus is on Quincy, and you're confronting like this. All right. One way to be peaceful but stand firm, stand shoulder to shoulder and look at Quincy. Now you're both having the same view. Now you're not facing each other, right? You're looking at what you're talking about because you're working on a solution together instead of at each other. All right? And your hands are down. I was trying to get you to be like, you know what? Tim, you gave a couple of those, right? All right. Hands down, you're shoulder to shoulder. It's learning how not to compromise, but to collaborate. We're going to work together because Quincy is the challenge. Whether it's an athlete, whatever it is, and Quincy can represent something that's not just a person. It might be something you're working on. But it's learning that yes, you are peaceful, but you can stand firm. But it's collaborating together. It's learning that I don't have to go face to face. We don't have to go face to face and confront each other. We don't have to confront. We can collaborate. All right. Teach your mind that you're a collaborator. Give these guys a hand. Let's get them back down. All right. Appreciate it. Got a book for you if you want, or I got some things I'll get you afterwards. That's just a thought of just expanding your mind to things that you have a mindset that I work with, not against. Because there's always going to be challenges, right? There's always things that you don't see eye to eye with someone. And you might, I keep bringing up my daughter. I'm going to bring her up again. I'll stall this. So the coaches put teammates together in the dorms, in the freshmen as roommates. And yesterday, my daughter called my mom. I'm going to say it well, doesn't matter. Addison, she changed the room around. She moved my dress. She said she wanted to change her side, blah, blah, blah. I come in, and she goes, she touched my stuff, da-da-da-da. And she wants to just confront her. Now, I always say this about my wife, that she has a master's of pastoral counseling, and I always say she got it really for our 3 daughters because they, you know what I'm saying? I go off to handle things, but she would just ask her questions, and she asked her questions, why don't you two stand, basically what I was saying here, and just look at it together and just ask questions and help each other see what you see without being confrontational. Not that you have to give up this so that I can have this. Let's work it together. And she called an hour or two later and said, yeah, we had a great conversation. We started seeing it together. And that's excellence. That's coming to a solution. Confrontations gets more and more the way they were about who's right and what should be. Because if I'm right, then you're wrong. And that's where pride comes from. I need to be right. I need to show that. And stepping away from facing each other, but side to side, you're collaborating. You're being positive, right? You are bringing about solution. It's having a mindset. When you say I'm a collaborator, I work with, not work against, even when there's something that needs to be done. It happens in every area where there's more than one person in a group. Everywhere, right? It's everywhere, right? What is your identity? What's your attributes? And I want to encourage you to write them down and to speak them every day. Just like we talked about. I talked about the, working out, getting bigger, getting stronger, tearing muscle tissue. First days, you're not growing, you're just sore, but you're trusting the process. Progress is made in the process. It is investing on a daily basis. Small disciplines exercised on a daily basis will create that excellence. These are small disciplines. Knowing who you are, knowing your attributes. To do what? What is your purpose? A general purpose. I mean, some days like I got to do, you got this and that work-wise, yeah. But what is your purpose with your identity and your attributes? Think about that. You woke up today. What was your purpose? Besides the things you have to do, how are you going to be and do? I'll tell you what mine is. I stole this a couple decades ago from Stephen Covey. It's to love. Mine is to love, serve, and contribute. With who I am. What is your purpose? How do you see yourself? Because that is setting your thermostat. I will tell you, you have the ability. Here's the thing. There is someone or someones, but there's at least someone that you're not even aware of that is watching you. They might not even be conscientious of it, but they're watching you. And you have the ability to bless them. You have the ability to mentor them. You have the ability to encourage, come alongside them, to teach them. I was talking about living in Raleigh. And this is over 20 years ago. I was in a coffee shop, I can't remember the place, and I was there's a line. It was morning, I was trying to get to work. This guy this big dude, decked out in this suit. I mean, he looked like he was out of a catalog. It was impressive. And there was a guy in front of him, looked a little ratty, he's a skinny little guy, and especially compared to this big guy. And I'm behind them watching. And this guy's all jittery and stuff. And he's, hurry up, get my coffee. He gets his coffee. He grabs 2 coffees, and he turns around and he slams right into that guy with that suit on. And I'm like, that dude's about to get hurt. I mean, just hot coffee just on him. And, the guy's like this, and then, someone all gave him napkins, thank you. And the scrawny guy, it's like, man, I've been waiting in line. You get my way, you spill my coffee. And I thought the big dude was going to deck, because he was just standing there. He didn't move. That guy just turned hastily right into him. And this is what that guy said. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm going to give you my order, but can you first give him his coffees? I'll pay for him. That dude didn't know what to say. Yeah, I'll pay for your coffee. I'll get 2 more. Can you quickly, you got to go, right? This guy's dripping with coffee, and his focus was on that guy. It doesn't matter who's right, who's wrong. He has to have a thermostat set. Here's a word. Thermostat I talk about, when I talk about there's people watching you, there might be someone watching. There might be a student, it might be an student athlete, that 10 years from now, I don't remember that person's name, but fill in the blank. The way they just conducted themselves, the way they spoke, some people were, talking this way, and he or she just ignored, didn't speak like that, but always spoke encouraging words. Indelible. Indelible means an imprint that doesn't fade away. 20 plus years ago, indelible mark in my life is this man having his thermostat set. He knew who he was. He did not react to that guy by his feelings, or his emotion, or who's right or wrong. He responded. That guy didn't know I was watching him. That guy does not know to this day that, he probably didn't remember that. I remember it. It made an indelible impact on my life. I wanted to be like that. I want to have my thermostat set. I want to be a rock. I want to be steady. And other people in my life would benefit from it. it would help grow a culture. You can't change someone else, but you can change the environment with them. If you set your thermostat and stay, they can't. That guy could not continue to be angry at him. He changed the environment without changing that guy. Changed the whole environment, changed all of us that were in that coffee shop seeing this guy. That's the kind of person, and that doesn't mean you can't be energetic. Anyone energetic? Write that down. Energetic, alive, vibrant. You can be that. That's you. But how do you respond in a way with that, or with who you are? Maybe you're more, I won't say shy, but introvert, or people. When you're steady, people know who you are, and they can trust that. Flip back here real quick. They can trust that. No matter what was going on, Tim could trust Wilson. Wilson wasn't going to just give him what he wanted to hear. Wilson wasn't going to give him the easy way out. Wilson wasn't worried he wasn't going to be invited to the party. He wasn't worried how Tim was going to see him or think. His thermostat was set, and he was blessed by it. Yeah, this is a made-up TV show, but this is real in real life. This happens. We need Wilson. We need to be that, and Wilson can only be that if he was. If you watch it, he never. Oh my gosh, Tim! What? No, it was always. I take what Tim said, and he would give him advice. He gave him his thoughts. It is on a daily basis. Writing down. Even I write them every. I write it down every day. You can just have them written down. Like I said in the beginning, I took an index card. Now it can be on your phone, but this is a long time ago. A little spiral index card notebook, and I write things out, and all day I just look at them, and my mom would just take it in, and then it would change. It would just change me. I was being transformed. The Bible says, "Conform no longer to the patterns of this world." The patterns are reacting. Patterns are being a thermometer, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be transformed by sticking in your mind truths. It will transform you. It will affect you. The beginning of that's Romans 12:2. Romans 12:1 says, basically your first step. It said, I beseech you, I suggest, I recommend, Paul's telling everyone, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice. Mark 1:35 says, before daybreak, before anyone was up, Jesus went to a solitary place to be alone with God, to get his thermostat set from the one who created him, who has put these in you, and the enemy has tried to deceive. It says, John 10:10 says, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He comes to steal this, your identity, who you are, and wants you to be like the world. And the world needs people set apart. The world needs to see people that are different. And that is a call for each and every one of us to be different. So I'm going to ask you to do this. Oh, we're about done, right? What I wanted to do, I don't know if the time might not have this piece of paper, but what I was going to ask you to do, if we have, actually, can you do it real quick? If you need an extra piece of paper, can someone give? I want you to write on the top your name. So fold a piece of paper in half. You need, I'll get you a piece of paper. You keep your notes there. I got paper. On the fold it in half. See them? Okay. If anyone knew, I got. You need paper? All right. So what I want to do at the that's fine. At the top, write your name and then fold it, and then pass them up. You need one? Oh, you got it. Okay. You need? I got plenty here. All right, here. Top, write your name. Anybody need paper? All right. Can you pass that down? Can you pass that down to him real quick? Yeah, you got it. Thanks. Pass that. All right. Top, write your name. Fold it, pass them up. Or pass it down. All right. All right. You got her? All right, pass them down. Yeah, this will be all right. Tim's got them. Tim's collecting them. All right, thank you. I feel like when I was a kid, Valentine's Day, when you went to class and everyone gave out their Valentines. All right. Anybody else? Got? All right. Yeah. All right. Do you want to do it? All right, let me get. And we got some extra. You have 2 extra pieces of paper. Oh God. All right. All right, one more. We got another piece. Let's get him. Let's get another piece of paper. Can I get one more? You sure you got 2? All right. All right, you got something right with you? Got something? All right. Just write your name on the top. All right, fold it up so it's not seen. Write his name. Yeah, write his name down for him. All right. So now, this one I'm going to try and mix these up some. All right, I'm going to pass these out. If you get your own, all right, Vicky. All right, you got to fold it this way so no one sees your name, Vicky. All right, so it's okay. All right, it's okay. That's all right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be negative. All right, now. If you can just start passing them, that's about half. Yeah, grab one. If you get your own, we'll change with somebody. But don't see. All right, pass them back. You should get someone else's name. There should be enough if we didn't drop any. Oh, you can't know who has yours either, really. Who's got close to the same? Give them. All right, that's fine. It's fine. This is what I want you to do. I want you to write a positive attribute about that person. That you know that you can say about this person. More than one, at least one. Something affirming. We're affirming each other. And then what you're going to do is fold it and pass it again. Pass it to the middle. Here, I'll get yours. Just write. You can write more than one. Something you know about this person. We're affirming others. Fold it so it can't be seen. All right. Yeah, take your time. If you got more that you want to write them. Write as much as you want about that person that you believe about them. Take your time, write. Think about it. Write about that person. All right, thank you, sir. All right, who else? Got one? All right. Any more? Okay. All right, any more? Thank you. You still working on it? All right.
Yeah,
all right, that's all right. Okay. Take your time. All right. Thank you. As the last couple of people, again, are finishing up this scripture. Paul said, be careful how you live. If you read this scripture, understand that it's easy to be foolish if we're not careful. It's easy to be unwise instead of wise if we're not very careful. Because the days are evil, he says, and there's so much that goes with that. Like, as I said, the days that we live in, we're being dulled. The days we live in, we're being deceived and distracted. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But we, as Jesus said, he comes that you may have life and life abundant. All right, do I have everyone? All right. That's what I was talking about. Small disciplines exercise on a daily basis that creates excellence. All right. So, now I'm going to pass them out. Charles. All right. All right. Charles, stand up and say, I am what it says. Loud and proud. I am, and then say.
I am a leader, accountable, kind, mentor, mature, strong, masterpiece.
Excellent. Let's give him a hand. What was the last thing you said?
Masterpiece.
Yes, you're accountable. Accountable? Is that account? All right. Awesome. Hey, and here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you feel like it or not. You just were affirmed by someone in here. And you should receive that, and you should continue to speak that. Mark Bowman. That's right. Mark's. Pass to Mark. All right, Mark, stand up. I am?
I am positive.
You're positive. Excellent. Do you feel positive?
I do.
Good. Feel it and live. So it's a fact and a truth. Excellent. Let's give him a hand. All right. Albie.
Right here.
All right. Pass that. Oh, there you go. All right. Come on now. I am.
Positive energy motivator.
All right. So, let's put it on here. Motivator. Positive energy. We'll say energetic. Can we do that? All right. Cool. Mike.
It's me.
All right. Go ahead. Tell us. Loud and proud.
Mike Armbruster, vibrant and a leader.
Yes. Vibrant. All right. Hey, you will hear some of these things, and maybe someone didn't write something the same, but you see it on there? Write on your piece of paper. All right. We're going to keep on moving. Javante. All right. I saw something there I got to write down. Go ahead.
I am a nice guy and I am very
Knowledgeable.
knowledgeable.
All right. Give him a hand. Yes. Greg Clifton. All right.
Are you laughing?
Oh, I guess. What? All right, who wrote that? So tell us what it says.
Danny Rabbit.
Is that what they call you?
I know who wrote that. What?
All right.
I've been called work.
Devon.
Devin.
Divine.
Oh, I'm sorry. Devin. Is that an O or A?
I'm nice.
You're nice. Okay. That's good. All right. Tim Donovan.
Yeah, first and last name.
Yeah.
Humble and positive.
All right. Let's give him a hand. We got both those on there. Madison. Madison. Yes, give her a hand. All right, someone didn't write on this one. We'll hold off that for a second. We might have to. Did I say? Am I saying it right? Did I say? Denasia. I'm sorry. Denasia. You know, I saw the Asia on there. I'm like, well, it probably isn't pronounced like that, but it is. All right, stand up.
Oh, I am silent and peaceful.
All right. Hey.
If they only really knew you. If they only really knew you.
Zachary. All right. That's a new one I'm going to put on the board. Go ahead. You're a hard worker. Stand up and say it. Stand up and say, I am. I am. All right. Vicky. Aw, bless your heart. That's the most important thing right there. I am.
I am a great mother.
All right. Is there anything more important than that? All right. What you got, Aaron?
I'm a leader, hardworking, and God loves.
I love it. All right. Give him a hand. Excellent. Bill. Can you pass that down to Bill real quick as I get to the board?
Steady, knowledgeable, confident.
Steady. I like that. Steady. Confident. At those two words together, how important? Steady confidence. Steady confidence. That's good. Derek Carter.
I am encouraging and joyful.
Joyful. Yes. Love it. Justin Clark. Can you pass that to Justin for me? All right. Matt Rowe.
Game day swag is on point.
Hey, can you pass that to Matt? Is it Rowe? Down there? On point. Yeah. So you are an excellent fashionable. Is it
Yes, I am.
excellent in fashion? Excellent in swag. All right. Are we doing all right? I know it's about 1 o'clock. Good, okay. All right. Yeah, if you got to leave, I'll see.
I am a great coach.
Great coach. All right. Hey, what does Billy Graham said, a coach will have more impact on a person in 1 year than most people have in that person's life, being a great coach. Excellent. Meredith. All right, Meredith.
I am always has a smile on your face.
Smile, yeah. Your countenance speaks volumes to other people, and that's great. Conti. Am I saying all right? Conti. All right, would you say he's committed and punctuate? All right.
We didn't say they didn't leave early. We just get there on time.
Yeah. All right, Baden. All right, is hard worker, kind. John Riggins, bracket. I like that. Can you pass that? Yeah. Pass down to John. Riggins, 44, Redskins.
Kind, caring, fun-loving, committed.
Committed, yes. Fun. All right, Kate. All right, Kate. Birthday girl! Yes! September 9. Let's go. Oh, gosh. What's that? Yes, dedicated. I'm going to tell you, what I'm going to ask you to do, if you can, is take a picture of this so you have the words. All right. I'm going to finish up in a minute. All right. We have Carol. Carol. I can see right there, look, reading what that said. There's no doubt. Yes, is she kind? Right? Neither. Excellent. Give her a hand. Cornelius. Can you pass that back to him? Excellent. Yes. Kayla. Stand up, tell us. Cracking herself up.
I am has a smile to light up the room.
Yes. Isn't that is when someone walks into that room, right? Someone who's maybe unsure of themselves, hesitant, lacks confidence, lacks self-esteem, that smile, they're embracing because that's that's security for them. That's excellent. Quincy.
Yes, sir. Oh, okay. I am a great family.
Excellent. Family is the core, right? No place better than where we make. Jeff.
Yeah, right here.
All right, Jeff.
Is it bad?
I didn't get a chance to sit now. Go ahead. No, it's not bad, but not bad. What you got?
I care deeply about impacting our students.
Caring, yes. Yes, that's awesome. John Thompson. All right, John. Tell us who you are.
I am a leader and impressionable.
Impressionable. That's excellent. Because we're trying to make an indelible impression on these young people, right? And Matt, you pass that to Matt. Thank you. A couple more, and then we'll get to the end here.
I am an encourager and leader.
All right. Good deal. Down here. Zach. All right. You got the Zach behind you?
I am hardworking, positive, and always smiling.
Okay. Always smile. Smile. Okay. Anyone not go? Are you Shantoni? Yeah. Okay. Well, who had Shantoni didn't write anything?
If I'm being honest, I never received the paper, but I know what I would say. I'll write it down.
Write it down and just give it to him. He's like, come on, man. All right. To write slow, just have a lot of attributes.
I have a lot to say.
I'm just kidding. That's excellent. That's excellent. Love it. Welcoming. All right. Give each other a hand. Just give each other a hand. Because you are the team that sets the thermostat in the athletic department and can affect all departments, right? So I want to finish with this. All right. That's not probably the best thing. This is movie Miracle, ice hockey, 1980. And this part right here, Kurt Russell plays Herb Brooks, the coach. During the whole thing, he kept asking them, during the whole tryouts and the beginning of the season, who do you play for? Your name and who you play for. And they'd always say the college they played for. So Boston U, I played with you at Minnesota. Coach, and this was at the very end where they tied an exhibition game like in Sweden, and they weren't dialed in, they weren't focused, and they had to continue to do. And the actual actors had to do this. So when they're sitting there thrown up in the ice, and they have to get in a line, just like gassers they had to keep doing it. This is after a game. Lights went out, generator, put the auxiliary lights on. And they're just going back, and they're dying. And he finally says, the coach wants them to quit. Quit on me. And they won't. And then finally, Mike Eruzione, who's the captain, he just says, before he gets in the line, he goes, Mike Eruzione. And Herb Brooks, Kurt Russell said, and who do you play for? And that's what he says. I play for the United States of America. It wasn't about him being an individual anymore, but his individual talents, part of a team. Just like Tim and Mark. That's what I was starting to say that, and I kind of hesitated, but I should have been sure. Tim and Mark, looking at Quincy, they were like as a team. They weren't individual. They were looking at the same thing. It's understanding, get a mindset that you are teammates to encourage and challenge each other. And you encourage and challenge each other as you continue to grow in excellence of who you are. You will affect everyone. So this is what I was telling you about before Dr. Caroline Lee said, if you want to take a picture, if you realize how powerful your thoughts are, you would never think a negative thought. That's from one of the top neuroscientists in the world. That's something, right? And here's the thing, when you start making it a habit by deliberately taking time to be intentional about focus on word stuff, the intentionality, you'll start being more present. You'll start being more present of what you're thinking, and then you can interrupt it. And you can speak to yourself, speak truth. Because again, your mind wants to go it's familiar, wants to go it's easy, wants to allow negativity. When you start expose your mind to not what it has to, but what it really needs to. You are setting a thermostat in that you are being intentional and you are becoming more and more aware of you. I became very, very aware of me because I was required to go and to watch myself and see that the facts that I thought of myself weren't all truths. And then the exercises that were here to, on a daily basis, one thing, every day video yourself. He would say, and watch it. Watch it without the words. Listen to it without watching it. It's hard, but I mean, it took a minute. I don't do it on weekends, but Monday through Friday for about 8-9 years now, I do an Instagram story. I do a video. It's anywhere from 20 to 40 seconds, challenge and encourage people. This morning I said, it's Monday, right? Beginning of your day, beginning of your week, the opportunity to be a vessel, to be a conduit for all that God would have for us. And I said earlier, I said in the video, and I'm always walking, well, I should always, I'm either at the beach or I'm walking to the gym at 6 in the morning, saying, every day have the mindset, you're to be taught, to teach, to receive, to give, to listen, to speak, to be blessed, to be a blessing. As iron sharpens iron, so shall one person sharpen another. Sharpen in excellence. And the last thing I always say, which I don't know why, but it's people, ready, go. Ready, go is you are ready, you choose to go. And this is what I was talking about, clarity, awareness, peripheral. When you take small disciplines and here's some small, we don't have time for this. I was going to bring out tennis balls. 20, 30 seconds a day, I juggle. It's a discipline. It makes your mind have to really pay attention. I juggle tennis balls. I brush my teeth in the morning one way, the cup, the water, everything. At night, it's the opposite. Makes your mind think. These are just things small things, small disciplines create. It makes your mind very present all the time because you're forcing it to go against the current. Right? Think about those. Think about small disciplines like that. Like I said, I juggle like 30 seconds a day. I do a thing called Elevate on my phone. That's an app that is about 3 or 4 minutes. There's math, there's reading, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Every day doing it. What you expose your mind to will be attracted to. The more that you're intentional, the more that you will be aware, be present, be able to have wisdom and discern because you're being present, you're very aware of everything. You have peripheral, beyond what you see right there, you start being aware of. All right. Mindset change. Here's Apollo 13, the movie Apollo 13, about supposed to go to the moon. Didn't all these things happen that went wrong? They worked hard. This is Ed Harris's character, who's control center. These are guys from NASA over there, his bosses, and this whole thing about trying to get them to land, they weren't going to the moon, that was out. Trying to get them back, they worked feverishly to figure out what they had on the Apollo 13 to be able to use to get them back safely. And these two guys right here, they're in earshot of Ed Harris, and they say, gosh, this is going to be the worst disaster in NASA history. Perception. That was how their mind saw it. And this is what his character says. I believe it would be our finest hour. Why? Because he saw that they collaborated. They worked as a team to get those 3 astronauts back. That is success. Doing all you can where you are with what you have. That's success. That mindset has to be cultivated. To be like that, the mindset they have is as a thermostat. We didn't go to the moon. We didn't do a landing. This stinks. And the whole world's watching. That's an established mindset, a thermostat set on excellence. Seeing, being present, being aware, they are working as a team to get those 3 astronauts back. That's success. That is a mindset that's cultivated continually on a daily basis, speaking the excellence of who you are, writing it down, living it out. So, finish with this. 3 frogs are sitting on a branch. 2 frogs say they're going to jump. How many frogs are left? 3. That's right. Saying you're going to do something and doing it are two different things. I was required to do this. The challenge when I got home was I could do whatever I want. What's easier? Being intentional, making an advanced decision to work on you. That's the discipline your mind will be attracted to. What you expose your mind to, it'll be attracted to. So I want to ask you this as we finish. If you could, give me feedback. If you could just take your phone, get the QR code, get feedback, and that'll be helpful to me. And be honest, right? Be Wilson. Hey, Matt, you kind of, I don't know. You're long-winded on this, whatever it is. And if there's anything positive, right? Ask you a couple questions. If you could do that for me, it helps me help others. Helps me to try to get sharper, okay? So I appreciate it. I appreciate the time. My hope, my prayer for you is that you take identity, attributes, purpose, you speak life into yourself, and when I say small disciplines, it could be, like I said, it could be doing crossword puzzles every day, like for 2 minutes. Make your mind work. That's what I said. That's why I juggle. That's why I do things opposite hand. All day I'll do drawers different. I'll pour different. It makes your mind engaged. Because here's the thing. You can grow old or you can go older. I'm older today. But I feel mind, body, and spirit doing the things, because mind, body, and spirit are interdependent. I'm doing disciplines that help me be the best I can where I am, where I'm at. And so can you. The world around you needs it. For you to be blessed, to be a blessing to yourself, to be a blessing to others. All right. So if you can do the QR code, I appreciate it very much. I even have some books here, free if someone wants a book, if you want to. I got a couple books here. These are books, not my, I have my books right here. I have 3 books. Like I said, there's a couple here, a bunch at the house, and Amazon and Books a Million stuff. Does anybody like Tom Osborne? It's a great book. All right.